Listen to this podcast now
on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Idea Gen Global Podcast with George Sifakis.
I'm George Sifakis. In a world overflowing with noise, there is one forum where the world's smartest voices connect, where visionaries sit at the same table as innovators, and great minds don't just talk, they act.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.
Rated E for everyone. Includes in-game purchases. Includes random items. EA Sports FC 26 is here. Play your way this holiday season with an overhauled gameplay experience powered by community feedback. Enjoy festive upgrades in Ultimate Team with Winter Wildcards. Take on holiday-themed challenges and manage your career, like navigating the busy Christmas period. And team up with friends and clubs with new tournaments and live events. The club is yours. Give the gift of football with EA Sports FC 26.
The Rita Cosby Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And tonight on the Rita Cosby Show, we are talking about President Trump's address to the nation. Also talk about the Nick Reiner case. He appeared in court today, and also the Brown University shooting and Islamic extremism. Boy, is there so much going on in the world. First, President Trump just a little bit ago, wrapping up 18 minutes. It was turbocharged, and boy, it was a packed speech. And here he is saying this is going to be an exciting year in 2026.
And travel. She was studying French at Brown University. She also loved kids and spent much of her time babysitting and serving in Sunday school. She believed her highest calling was to be a mom one day. But the most important thing to know about Ella is that she was a devout Christian. She was very involved in her church, the Cathedral Church of the Advent in Birmingham, and was loved by everyone there.
And that was Tommy Tuberville, because we're going to be talking about the Brown University shooting, talking and giving a touching tribute to one of the victims, who, by the way, was Ella Cook, vice president of Brown's Republican Club. Outspoken, very, very powerful Christian in her faith and love of this country. And we're going to hear more details on that. It's still unclear the motive. They don't even have a suspect. They have like grainy footage of two individuals now. Two different guys, and they're saying it looks like it could be one of these two. Look out, and neither one of them you really see a good image of, but hopefully it means that they are closing in, but I have my doubts. Meantime, I want to go to the Trump's comment. This is President Trump saying that in 2026, there's going to be a lot of big things, and America is going to celebrate in one big way.
Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics, both of which I got. But most importantly, we will celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. There could be no more fitting tribute to this epic milestone than to complete the comeback of America that began just 1 year ago. When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe. We are respected again like we have never been respected before.
And President Trump also dropped this one tonight. And I love this, by the way, you guys. I thought this was really fantastic. He talked about the warrior dividend, saying that everybody is going to be feeling a lot better economically coming up even in the next few months, that people will start to feel it. But he also said in particular, it's going to be a great Christmas for our warriors. Take a listen to this.
Along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money.
I love that. The checks are on the way. And I love the fact that the amount is $17.76. Very symbolic, very powerful. And of course, next year, the anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. And here is President Trump talking about the hard facts, he says. Here, let's lay out the economy. And he says, listen to what's happened with even mortgage rates, for example, that under Biden, they skyrocketed, and now there is already relief in sight. Here's a little bit more of President Trump just speaking a little bit ago. And guess what? Yeah, CNN and MS Now did cover it, and the other networks. I'm glad, because hopefully a lot of people watched and said, God, that guy sounds like he really does care, and he sounds like he's making a difference.
The Democrat inflation disaster, again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see. The numbers are going to be shocking. And I'll soon announce our next chairman of the Federal Reserve, someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot, and mortgage payments will be coming down even further. Early the new year, and you will see this, in the new year, I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history.
And you know, President Trump means business. They've already said, too, that he will be the person going out there, that he will be the one who's going to be not just the commander-in-chief, but the campaigner-in-chief next year. And if anybody can juggle it all, it's President Trump. He has a lot of energy, but boy, oh boy, he's going to be pulled in a million directions because his personality, his background, his messaging, that is what will help the GOP, especially when it comes to the midterms. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-9222. What did you think of the speech? Did it sound reassuring? Did it sound inspiring? He was talking fast, but he got a lot in. And now that I told you that some of the networks apparently told the White House that they want to keep it to 15 minutes, no wonder he was trying to pack a lot in like nobody can. And President Trump certainly did. Let's go to Tony in Clifton on line 3. Tony, your thoughts tonight?
Well, first of all, I agree with the short and sweet. I love the short and sweet because I think Americans had a very hard time with the economy. He's reassuring them. We saw that at the polls, and that's my concern. I want him to really work with our American people so that when they go to vote, they know for sure what they're voting for and what they're getting. That's number one. Number two, I wanted to see where he was going to deal with some of the troublemakers in Congress. And he said it. He said, we have a lot of anti-Semitism in Congress, and that's not good and that's not healthy. And to me, Rita, that was a sign, watch out, because he's paying attention to that. So the two things I thought were key tonight, we know all the illegals came into our country and we have a mess. People know that, but they want to know about their pocketbook. And also, we want to know about all the troublemakers that are running this country and that don't care about American people. And he said, that's not good, what's going on with the anti-Semitism in Congress. That's not good. That's the Muslim influence that we have. And I don't know how much of that came in with the Biden people, but they have really flooded our country with such an overwhelming group of people that this is the worst thing any president could have done. And that's the truth. President Trump gave the American people the absolute truth.
You know what's interesting, Tony, tonight, and I always love to sort of like watch and see what others are going, what they're saying, right? And you look at like CNN and some of the others, they're like, Trump defending his record, Trump blaming Biden. Well, Biden let in, 20 million, Trump believes maybe illegals. Like there's no reason to be blaming nice, sweet Biden. That's how they acted.
Well, we can't listen to them, Rita, because they are just on a mission. I don't know. I don't know if they're like infiltrators from Mars or illegal aliens themselves, but they are not looking out for the American people. And the American people kind of are getting that. They just want a little more assurance about their pocketbook, and they're not quite sure about all this anti-Semitism stuff. And I'm telling you, President Trump is going to deal with it. Be prepared. He's amazing.
What do you think he's going to do? What do you think he's going to do when it comes to the anti-Semitism, Tony? Because clearly, especially when you look at some of these comments, I mean, coming from some members of the squad, as you mentioned, and also what about, you got Zoran Mandani. He has certainly had his share of anti-Semitic comments in the past.
Well, I don't know what he's going to do because I don't get to talk to President Trump. I wish I could, but I know, first of all, he's been hitting the pocketbooks of all the blue states. If you don't, if you're anti-Semitic, you're not going to get any funding. And so I think what would go along with that perfectly is that your member of Congress gets censored. If your state is anti-Semitic, working against ICE, whatever is terrorist organizations you're aiding and abetting, you're not going to get funding, and your members of Congress are not going to be sitting on committees voting for more and more of this, terrible influence in our country. So I'm hoping that they figure out a way. I didn't go to law school, Rita, but I think if you take away your funding, you should take away your vote when you go to a committee hearing because it kind of works together.
Great points. I agree. And you're right. It'll be interesting to see what he does. You could tell he's fed up and deeply, deeply concerned, especially where we're headed as a country, too. You could tell that, too. Tony, thank you. It's always great, so great to hear from you. Let's go to Sandra in New Jersey, line 5. Sandra, what did you think of the speech tonight?
I loved the speech. I thought he was talking so fast. I couldn't understand why, but now I understand why. He had time constraints, but he got so much in. I too love the Warrior Dividend, 1,776. I didn't realize that was a special meaning behind it. I learned that from you. And then I loved how he spoke about the insurance companies, how they're ripping us apart, and he's going to get money 60%. Thanks to tariffs, he's going to bring it down. And I love the fact that he spoke about, so many things. I mean, I felt that I believe the best has yet to come after I heard the speech. At first, I'm listening, and as he kept going on and on and on, I became more and more excited because I believe that everything he said is going to happen. Let's not forget no tax on tips, Social Security, overtime. We haven't even seen that kick in yet, but that's going to happen soon, and people are going to become happy. Then he talks about eggs, gas, and turkeys, how the prices came down on that. We're going to see other things come down, too. Things take time. People have to understand it can't happen overnight, and I believe the best is yet to come. This man is amazing. He convinced me tonight, as he always does. And I thought the speech was great, very fast, but now I understand why. And like he said, he inherited a mess, but he's going to fix it, and that's exactly what he's doing. We have no illegals coming in here now. That is amazing. He made the strongest border from the worst to the best. This is what he said. And he has the most powerful military in the world. Think about that. Think about what that means. And he has brought peace in the Middle East. I mean, a lot of good stuff in this speech. I mean, I just couldn't keep up with him. He was going so fast, but it was so great. And I'm so excited. And I know, like I said, the best is yet to come.
You know what? I'm glad to hear that because I do believe, too. And I believe also, look at the energy and the force that comes with the President of the United States. I don't know if you heard earlier, but I had Bill O'Reilly on earlier, Sandra, and Bill was saying, and I thought it was a really great idea about having sort of a conference, if you will, with all of these insurance executives, because that's one of the things that everybody's feeling are these high insurance rates. Having sort of a kumbaya with them and say, hey, okay, here's the deal. You guys, let's try to figure out a way to break down the cost, to bring down the numbers, and here are some solutions. Here's this, and walk out of there with something tangible, jointly together that would be actually a really incredible move, because that's where people are getting socked. It's unaffordable. It's unrealistic. It's also just, there's so many, it's overwhelming, I think, for so many individuals. So for so many reasons, that I think is a brilliant idea. And I think he is going to reassure the American public. I think there's some that maybe never will be reassured because they don't want to be reassured because it's Trump. Right. I think if this economy was under Biden right now, they'd be having ticker tape parades. What do you think?
I think you're right, but I just remember when he was talking about the insurance. I loved how he said you'll be able to pick whatever insurance you want, something that you could afford, something that you like. I think that was very important. You know, you think about Luigi, whatever his name was, Mangione, how upset he was with the insurance companies. Well, Donald Trump said it in his speech tonight. He's not going to let these insurance companies take over and ruin everything for everyone. He was sensitive to that, and I kind of like that.
Yeah, I do too. And I also like the fact that he clearly sounds like he is connecting and hearing the American public, and that's an important thing. And you've got someone who's driving the charge. That's reassuring too. You got somebody with a pulse, which is a far cry from what we felt before, Sandra. Boy, oh boy. Thank you, my friend. Everybody will continue with your calls after the break. 1-800-848-9222. And you're listening to The Rita Cosby Show.
The Rita Cosby Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Take my word for it. I live there. Come to Florida. Get pre-approved right now with my guy, Michael Cotzi. Call him at 561-441-2730. He's got Choice Mortgage and a great real estate team. Get pre-approved right now. Michael Cotzi, 561-441-2730. Buy in Florida right now. Don't wait. Save money on state taxes. Make your move today with Choice Mortgage. Trust me, Florida is waiting. This guy's so good, he did my commercials in Florida, too. Mike Cotzi, 561-441-2730. A ride.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. So Netflix is basically Santa this year. 2 NFL games on Christmas Day, streaming live. At 1 p.m. Eastern, it's Cowboys, Commanders. Then at 4:30, you've got Lions, Vikings. Midwest football, playoff stakes, and probably some snow. Watching holiday football is a tradition the whole family can enjoy. Open some gifts, grab some food, settle in, and watch NFL Live on Netflix this Christmas Day.
Say hello to the all-new Alexa Plus and see how Alexa can do so much more for you. Need tickets to see your favorite artist? Craving your comfort restaurant? Just sit back, relax, and talk naturally. Alexa's on it. It learns your style, anticipates what's next, and makes it happen across Echo, Fire TV, and more. Learn more at Amazon.com/new Alexa.
Looking for the perfect gift? Blink has you covered. With a Blink security camera, you're giving the gift of peace of mind.
A camera? Isn't that hard for them to set up?
It's simple to install anywhere, and they'll always know what's happening at home.
Okay, that's actually perfect.
Perfect indeed. Give the gift of smart security with Blink so they can check in on home from anywhere this holiday season. Shop now at Amazon.com/Blink.
This is The Rita Cosby Show.
And everybody, by the way, coming up December 20th, it is home for the holidays with Mr. Christmas, Vinny Modugno. He is live from Studio 77 in the heart of New York City. So get ready to slay your night away with live performances, also some ugly sweaters. What would Christmas be without that? Also, jolly friends, it is Mr. Christmas, Vinny Modugno, singing your holiday favorites live in concert December 20th at WABC Studios. And for more information and tickets, go to homefortheholidays2025.com. It's Vinny Modugno live in concert, WABC headquarters in Studio 77, homefortheholidays2025.com. And let's go to Joaquin on line 1. Go ahead, Joaquin, your thoughts.
Rita, such an overload of topics, potential topics. It's just amazing.
Yeah, we don't fool around here. This is top-notch, Joaquin. Top-notch operation.
You know, and in spite of the Trump speech tonight, I really want to go to Casting Cosby today because you had some fantastic guests on. You had Congressman Randy Fine, Tommy Tuberville, and Zuhdi Jasser.
Yep. Do me a favor, Joaquin. Do me a favor, because that was and I thought that conversation with Dr. Zuhdi Jasser was really powerful, and the others too, obviously. Stick with us, and we're just going to go to a quick break, and I want to hear your thoughts because, boy, they were powerful.
The Rita Cosby Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Introducing Meta Ray-Ban Display, the world's most advanced AI glasses. With a full color display built into the lens of the glasses, it's there when you need it and gone when you don't. Send and receive messages, translate or caption live conversations, collaborate with Meta AI, and more. Be one of the first to try Meta Ray-Ban Display. Visit meta.com/Meta Ray-Ban Display to book a demo and find your pair.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Carvana lets you buy your next car on your terms. Explore a massive inventory online, filter for what matters, and find your perfect match. Then choose delivery to your home or pick it up at one of Carvana's iconic car vending machines. Every car also comes with a 7-day money-back guarantee, so you can make sure it's the right fit. Buy your car on Carvana. Delivery or pickup fees may apply. Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
Carvana. The Lincoln Wishlist sales event is happening now. Here's what's on everyone's wish list. Enjoying holiday jingles with brilliant 3D audio that surrounds you? Check. Watching snow flurries through the panoramic Vista roof? Check. Packing up presents with the spacious Lincoln Splitgate? Check. Everything you want. All standard on the 2025 Lincoln Navigator SUV. Visit your local Lincoln retailer or learn more at Lincoln.com for exceptional offers on 2025 Lincoln vehicles today.
Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... there, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
Rita Cosby is on.
And tonight on the Rita Cosby Show, well, the reports are out that Dan Bongino, the FBI deputy director, is preparing to quit the Trump administration and planning to do that in January. He's, of course, the number 2 person under Kash Patel. Now, it comes after Bongino himself has said that it's been very difficult on his family being there at the FBI office 24/7 and his wife living in Florida. Also, President Trump was asked about it a few hours ago when he was at the airport, and he was asked, hey, what do you think about Dan Bongino? Is he leaving? And he said, yeah, I think he wants to go back to his show. He did a good job in past tense. In other words, at that point, I was like, okay, Dan Bongino is definitely leaving. So the big question is who will take over? Well, there are reports that Andrew Bailey, he is the attorney general. He was the attorney general for Missouri, and he was brought in a couple months ago. Great guy. I've talked to Andrew Bailey a number of times. He's terrific and a great lawman, and he will most likely, according to reports, take the place of Dan Bongino. And I like Dan a lot, too. So it'll be interesting to see. President Trump says he believes he's going back to do his show. What do you make of this, you guys, of the fact that Dan Bongino is leaving? Also, it comes a few days before the Epstein files. The deadline for them to be released is on Friday. So is there any tie? He was pushing very much for the Epstein files to be released. We'll see what comes out. We've seen some of it, of course. So lots of interesting stuff here. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. And Joaquin and I were talking right before the break. We're going to talk to Joaquin in one moment because I want to play a little bit about Joaquin was talking about. He was talking about Congressman Randy Fine, who is from Florida, and he talked about radical Islam. Listen to what he said.
And the problem is you have people who are unwilling to face the fact that we have a Muslim problem. Are all Muslims terrorists? No. Do all Muslims support terrorism? No. But a lot of them do. And trying to deny that reality that there are hundreds of millions in the world is going to lead us all to our demise. And I understand that ignorance is bliss, and it is easier to pretend there is not a problem than deal with the problem that exists. But how many people are going to have to die where someone is yelling Allahu Akbar before we start to deal with it?
And we also talked to Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, and I asked him, sort of what's going on in the world? Why are other Muslims not speaking up? And he says they're asleep, and he is deeply, deeply concerned about that. Take a listen. What is your reaction, first of all, when you saw what happened in Australia, and now we're hearing of all these different attacks that have happened, these in New York and elsewhere? Your thoughts of where we're headed? I'm really concerned.
Yeah, as you know, we've been trying to scream from the rooftops, many of us from dissident families from the Middle East who embraced American freedom. These are not lone wolves. This is Islamists are jihadists that see the world as the land of Islam and the land of war. And this is a sonic boom of multiple coalescing ideologies that we've seen post-COVID now, where the far-left progressivists have finally coalesced. We knew they were always going to work together with the jihadis, but they've coalesced. You saw the Black Lives Matter movement working with the Islamists domestically and globally. The Mamdanis of the world are basically the farm team of the socialists working with the Islamists. And this is exactly what the globalized Intifada looks like, which is the Jewish community has sadly known too well what it is to be at the head of the spear. Israel's been surrounded by Islamist regimes since its formation in 1948 and has been fighting for the survival of the West. And we are finally, in our own experiment in liberty since 250 years ago now, come next year, for 1,400 years, Islam has not understood liberty. My faith that I love has not defeated theocracy. Our founding fathers did. The theocrats now in Islam have dominated almost every Muslim majority country.
And at least he is speaking out. I wish there were more great, peaceful Muslims who will speak out. There's a lot of them out there, but we need to hear from them. And here is Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Democrat of Florida. This may be part of the problem.
What is the bigger threat to America right now, American values, American life? Islamophobia or jihad?
I think we have to focus, quite frankly, on, if we're worried about the threat to American values, on the person who's in the White House. I mean, we have a president.
Oh, come on. Really?
No,
is that where we're going? Come on.
Yeah, I'm going there because we have a president who has completely undermined our democracy, who has.
So you don't see jihad. You don't see this as a problem.
What I don't see is it as a single lens problem. We have a president who has been determined to undermine our constitutional principles, to degrade our democracy, to divide instead of unite us. The responsibility of our
I have to say, Congressman, you know how much I admire you, and I always appreciate being willing to come on and discuss things. But we booked you to talk about anti-Semitism and Islamophobia in America. So I'm asking the question
about Islam.
That's amazing. I'm glad. That was Leland Vittert, I think, of News Nation. Bravo for him for pushing back. I mean, that's crazy. The question was, what's the bigger threat, jihadism or Islamophobia? And she goes to President Trump. This is such crazy Trump derangement syndrome. Turbocharged. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. Let's go back to Joaquin in Pennsylvania, line 1. Joaquin, thank you for holding. Thank you.
Oh, no, Rita, I appreciate it. No, but it really was amazing, and I really like listening to Dr. Jasser. And my one comment is that last clip you played, unfortunately, what we have to realize is that the left, the Democrats basically, but the left, for the most part, is basically anti-Christian itself, okay? They're pretty much anti-religion. They really don't, come from that point of view. And so they've aligned, with the Islamists, for the same frame of mind, basically, to overwhelm the country and make it a communist country, which really is an atheist religion in and of itself. Okay, but going back now to Randy Fine and also Tommy Tuberville. One of them made the point, of course, that it's not radical Islam. The problem is fundamental Islam. And actually, Dr. Jazzer does back that up because he commented. He said that Islam had never gone through a change through its history. But the problem is that there is a difference in this fundamental theologies because whatever evils Christianity were done in the name of Christianity, the teachings of Jesus in the New Testament were that he is not of this world, and his kingdom is of, another world. And so he never in any way, said that we need to dominate the earth, and to convert everybody to Christianity. And it's the same thing with the Jews, the Jewish religion. God gave the Jews that specific land. That's, in their teachings. The teachings of Islam itself teaches, it says to go out and to conquer the world, basically, and make it submit to Islamic rule and Islamic authority. So if you're a Christian or a Jew, as long as that you submit to their rule and their laws, they'll let you live, okay? So, but
your point is sort of the globalize the intifada, and they want to globalize it.
Exactly right, but Dr. Jazzer even says that Islam needs to rethink some of its fundamental writings. But
by the way, Joaquin, and I brought up the point that he said that because I asked him, and a number of you have asked this, and it's a very smart question: where are the rest of the Muslims out there speaking out? And I even brought up to Dr. Jazzer, as you probably heard, Joaquin, I said, I even brought up all you guys who call into the show, and I said, listen, we need some answers, because where were you after 9/11? Where were you after Australia? Where were you? I'm not talking him, I'm talking others, because he's been very eloquent and courageous. And his answer was, most Muslims are asleep. Now, I guess my question is, I'm not sure if they're asleep. I think they're willfully turning a blind eye for whatever reason. But what do you believe?
Yes. That's what I believe. Now, I don't know if you saw on X, I actually sent you, I wrote a reference that people can look up, and it's Egyptians and it's Muslims. It's their website, and you can read about the Quran and see exactly what I was talking about, that there's one Quran, and it was by the angel Gabriel given to Allah. And over the years, he had people write it down and they committed it to memory, okay? And there were 7 modes of it, but they all preach the same message, and that is the Quran. And the website they can go to is madrasatelquran.com, where they can see it on X, where I sent it to you.
Great.
And it's a great read, and it really explains that. And I have other resources that people can look up, and I'll try and send them to you on X.
That's great. That's great. Because, it's an interesting topic, Joaquin. It really is. And I think people are fascinated about it. And I think we're learning more and more about it as we all go on this crazy journey together, guys. Joaquin, thank you. You're terrific. And I encourage everybody to look on X. Joaquin sent me some information there with links and other stuff. Definitely feel free. It is public. So everybody be sure that you check it out. And I definitely will too. Joaquin, thank you very much. It's always great to hear from you. Let's go to Al in Yonkers on line 3. Al, go ahead. I know you want to talk. What about Dan Bongino? This is interesting.
Yeah, Rita, thanks so much. Back when President Carter was president, he told all his administration to hand in their resignations, and he would decide which ones he wanted to leave. So a couple of them walked the plank. Blumenthal, Joe Califano, and, just a couple were told, basically shown the door. So I think it's possible that Dan Bongino went to President Trump and told him that he was going to resign, and President Trump probably didn't stop him. So I think Dan Bongino will do well in the private sector. But me personally, I never thought he was qualified to be the number 2 in the FBI.
Now, why is that? Because he was obviously in the Secret Service. He was, I believe, NYPD. He has a lot of law enforcement in his background.
Yeah, well, my own personal beliefs is he never was in the hierarchy of, like, say, for instance, an FBI. He might have been an agent, a field agent. The same with the NYPD brass. He was never at the top echelon there. And when I used to see him on Fox with Geraldo, he seemed not to take critical construction. I mean, he didn't seem to take. He was irritable too easy, I thought.
By the way, I remember he did have some big blow-ups with Geraldo. On the other hand, I think Geraldo was clearly baiting him. And that was also, by the way, that was sort of the purpose of the segment, to have, two very disparate views, Yes. So I give him a pass on that. I mean, he certainly loves this country. There's no doubt. I've talked to Dan just a few times, and he seems like he definitely, loves this country, loves law enforcement, appreciates law enforcement. So I do think his heart was in the right place. Clearly, there were differences of opinion, it seemed, on a lot of issues, because, it seemed like at some points he was in, somebody was out. Maybe it was by his own accord. Maybe it was by the president's accord. I don't know. And it seems like at the end of the day, maybe both sort of realized it's not the best fit. And listen, he also talked about, candidly talked about how tough it was on his marriage. I'm sure he was working 24/7. You think about all the different assignments. And sometimes things look great, but then when you're in it, and he gave a great line. I was looking at this just a few moments ago, and he said, this is what he said in the past. He said that people ask me all the time, do you like it? Meaning his liking his new job. And he said, no, I don't. He added that it was challenging for his family. But then he says, the president didn't ask me to do this to like it, which was an interesting point. He knows he was there to serve at the pleasure of the president. He was there to serve to protect America. And it's not always easy to do any of those things. But at least he seemed like he was candid with himself as to maybe he had different expectations, and I'm sure it's overwhelming. I mean, I've covered many administrations, you guys. I mean, Al, I've been covering politics for decades.
No, absolutely.
And it's tough I have seen, and I have a lot of friends in the administration, in all administrations over the last 30 years. And, it's not an easy job. And that's why I give the president of the United States and anybody in that, they sacrifice so much. I mean, you see them all the time. It's 24/7. And you think about even maybe the threats that were happening, when you're in the FBI, look at the threats Tom Homan has talked about to us on the air. He's talked about the threats to his family. His family has to live in a different location from him. We had Tricia McLaughlin the other day on. She's from DHS. Talking about, she's deputy secretary there, talked about how there were threats against her. It is not for the weak of heart. So I have a lot of respect for anybody. And in his case, he gave up a lot. I mean, he was making a lot of money on the show, and he gave it up to be able to serve this country. And for that, I'll always have tremendous respect for him and anybody who does it. And he definitely worked very hard by all accounts, too. So we'll find out. There's probably more to the story, but I will definitely give him kudos for that. And we'll continue. Al, thank you very much. I always love hearing from you. Everyone, 1-800-848-9222. What do you make of the fact that Dan Bongino is leaving? President Trump says he's leaving to do a show. Dan Bongino in the past has talked about how tough it's been on his family. And what do you make of the fact that already a big change in leadership at the FBI, and also so much more? President Trump's speech, was it a home run? And do you think it's going to change any minds? 1-800-848-9222. But now, support our heroes.
The Rita Cosby Show presents Support Our Heroes.
And this is the Tunnel to Towers Foundation Support Our Heroes segment with a really powerful story from Ellicott City, Maryland. And his service in uniform began with a lie as he joined the Army at the age of 15 years old. Nearly 90 years later, his service to our nation was honored with the presentation of the French Legion of Honor, equivalent to the U.S. Medal of Honor for France. And it was presented to First Sergeant Legio J. Sassi, 103 years old, 103, and it was given to him by the Consul General of France. And just to give you a little background, as I mentioned, he joined the military at age 15, saying that he was 16. Later, he was honorably discharged in 1941 But that time as a civilian was brief. Less than 4 months after the U.S. entered World War II, he enlisted again. And from the beaches of France to the Battle of the Bulge, now the legal age to serve, his second enlistment brought him to England in February 1944 and then to France. Such a part of so many key parts of history, including reaching the line between the border of France and Germany by October of that year. And bravo to him and so many great members of the greatest generation. And everybody, support America's military and first responder heroes. Donate $11 a month to the great Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Be sure to check them out. They do such amazing work. They are the best, and it's the best way to honor our heroes this holiday season. Check them out at t2t.org. That's T, the number 2, T.org.
The Rita Cosby Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
What if an appliance emergency didn't have to be? If your appliances suddenly decided they were done, don't stress. Best Buy has you covered with a wide variety of major appliances from trusted brands, in stock and available now. So you don't have to worry about laundry piling up, refilling the fridge, or that big dinner party you're hosting. Because Best Buy has the knowledge and expertise to get you the right appliance for your home. Learn more at bestbuy.com. Best Buy. Imagine that.
Hi, it's Eva Longoria, and let's be real. After 40, we should ask for more from our skincare. I swear by Revitalift Triple Power Moisturizer by L'Oreal Paris. With vitamin C, pro-retinol, and hyaluronic acid, it reduces my wrinkles, firms, and brightens. And it's not a procedure. It's just a hard-working moisturizer.
Revitalift Triple Power Moisturizer by L'Oreal Paris. Grab it today in fragrance-free or with SPF 30. Available at your local Walmart.
At IKEA, your dreams can come true. Well, maybe not the ones where you're being chased by a monster. We're talking about kitchen dreams. And there are IKEA products and solutions for all of them. Whether it's a whole new kitchen, a statement glassware set, or just new cutlery. If you got big dreams or small dreams in any size of budget, IKEA can help you bring them to life. Visit IKEA.us/dreamkitchen to learn more. Dream the possibilities.
This is a real good story about Bronx and his dad, Ryan, real United Airlines customers.
We were returning home, and one of the flight attendants asked Bronx if he wanted to see the flight deck and meet Captain Andrew.
I got to sit in the driver's seat.
I grew up in an aviation family, and seeing Bronx kind of reminded me of myself when I was that age.
That's Andrew, a real United pilot.
These small interactions can shape a kid's future.
It felt like I was the captain.
Allowing my son to see the flight deck will stick with us forever.
That's how good leads the way.
It's the Rita Cosby Show.
And we were just talking about marijuana. There are reports that tomorrow President Trump may do some sort of easing or different classification of marijuana on a federal level. Let's see where that goes. Also, a Minneapolis police chief compares immigrants to Mary and Joseph. I don't remember them being illegal. And people putting on social media, there were 2, not 20 million of them. The responses have been pretty interesting. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. Let's go, if we can, let's go to Bruce in Delaware on line 4. Go ahead, Bruce.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for taking my call, Ms. Cosby.
You're welcome. What do you want to say?
Well, I think Mr. Bongino is a very stand-up guy. And I think he's been there, and he, even on his show, was attempting to expose the bomber that left the bombs at the DNC and the RNC.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, you're right. He was very focused on that. And look, he did focus on that. So maybe your thought is mission accomplished because they finally came out with that.
Thanks for listening to The Rita Cosby Show. You can hear The Rita Cosby Show weeknights at 10 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Take my word for it. I live there. Come to Florida. Get pre-approved right now with my guy, Michael Cosby. Call him at 561-441-2730. He's got Choice Mortgage and a great real estate team. Get pre-approved right now. Michael Cosby, 561-441-2730. Buy in Florida right now. Don't wait. Save money on state taxes. Make your move today with Choice Mortgage. Trust me, Florida is waiting. This guy's so good, he did my commercials in Florida, too. Mike Cosby, 561-441-2730. All right.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. And Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day, yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.